लब्बैक अल्लाहुम्मा लब्बैक लब्बैक ला शरीक लक लब्बैक।
हज की सआदत हासिल करने के लिए तशरीफ लाए हैं अल आजम टूर्स एंड ट्रैवल्स। 32 साल सफर के तजुर्बात के साथ रखते सफर बांधे। इस साल रूह की पाकीज़गी और मग़फ़िरत का परवाना लिए उस सफर पर जो हमारे लिए ईमान की ताजगी का सबब बनता है। वजारत अक़लियती उमूर हुकूमत हिंद से मंजूर शुदा अल आजम टूर्स एंड ट्रैवल्स, हैदराबाद, इंडिया। आरामदा सफर के साथ हमारे मौल्लिम हमेशा रहेंगे आपकी खिदमत में। आइए अपनी जबीनों को रब्बुल आलमीन के दर पर झुका दें। इश्क व मोहब्बत का सफर हमारे साथ। बाएत्तेमाद नाम, जिम्मेदार इदारा, मुख्तलिफ पैकेजेस मुनासिब रेट पर दस्तयाब हैं। अल आजम टूर्स एंड ट्रैवल्स। मालूमात के लिए कॉल करें।
Thank you so much, Honorable Raksha Mantri, and thank you so much, Honorable Telangana Chief Minister Sri. And now we also thank Chairman DRDO, President.
Came into being throughout this incredibly long journey since these organisms diversified and multiplied into species of the innumerable forms. There is a general agreement among scholars that the modern human being arrived around 70,000 years ago. These were times when population was very less and land, forests, rivers, rocks in abundance. Man was a hunter or a gatherer of what the nature had endowed the earth with. People had all the resources on earth and very little requirement. But the scene changes around 12,000 years back. When agricultural revolution takes place, people back then took the first steps to sow, nurture and harvest. In the process, they got tied to a specific piece of land. They settled. They formed small villages near their farmlands and domesticated certain animals too. This continued for a long time. When nothing changed much, history remained almost static. What changed was the space, which earlier covered vast expanse of land. As gatherer hunter contracted to the village and the farm up surrounding it. Friends, then about 5 years or so back, the scientific and industrial revolution happened. This further restricted the life largely to towns and cities, where new industries were coming up. With this, life contracted to further limited space. This was a phase of unprecedented material development through scientific and industrial discoveries and inventions. Life changed forever, and we are all products of these scientific discoveries and innovations. Friends, we have not stopped there. What we were witnessing for some 2 or 3 decades in another phase of the human development is the technological revolution. In a mind-boggling phase of the scientific and the technological development, we are now witnessing every day transformative scientific innovations which are influencing our lives in unprecedented ways. The shrinking human space I was talking about just now has in many important aspects ceased to exist now. Today, we are living in cyberspace, working on a cloud, talking to intelligent machines. The physical is getting miniaturized and virtually expanding like the universe. Life has virtually shrunk to a mobile handset. Friends, India was no exception to this development. In fact, it will not be a hyperbole to say that the first nation to have cultivated science was India, our country. Indians had profound knowledge about the heliocentric model of the solar system, value of pi, and the decimal system. It was a fact that we knew the solution to indeterminate equations long before Copernicus and his European contemporaries. Friends, Indian mathematics gave the world the numerals we all use today. Pioneering scholars such as Aryabhatta, Bhaskaracharya, Brahmagupta, Bhatteshwaracharya, Sridharacharya, Sripati Madhavacharya, and many others made significant contributions. Friends, why I am telling you this? To make you understand that when India prospered in science, its economy prospered too. When science flourished in India, India flourished in ancient times. But as the destiny had it, India, at the time of the independence, was both capital scarce and technology scarce. It was also poor in skilled human resource. And India was a low growth economy. Under the circumstances, it was understood that science was the way forward to improve the rates of the economic development essential for a self-generating economy in industry as well as in agriculture. But the growth and application of science and technology remained slow and patchy in the initial decades of independence. The first real transformation came in agriculture sector with application of science in what came to be called the Green Revolution. It removed the perennial food grain scarcity in our country. Application of science led to self-sufficiency in agricultural production in India. And this was the first breakthrough in our march to development. It was a victory of science over hunger. Since then, with progressive increase in our scientific development, India has steered through many difficult phases for betterment of our society and economy. From the days of the perpetual scarcity in raw materials and the capital goods, we have overcome many hurdles, be it heavy machines and equipment, mining and the processing of raw materials, textiles, cement, steel, pharma, electricity, and whatnot. Friends, subsequently, the information technology revolution, of which this city, Hyderabad, is an integral part, has given India a prominent place on the world map. When it comes to the software industry, the ingenuity of the Indian mind is in full display. Friends, when I am trying to say through these examples is that modern progress cannot be thought of without consistent scientific evolution and a healthy science-society interface. Science has proved to be the biggest factor in human welfare. In India, we have applied our scientific knowledge and talent to solve the problems of our country. When we send a satellite in space, our weather forecasting gets more accurate, our farmers get timely information, our fishermen get timely early warning on rough weather conditions at sea. Our communication channels get strengthened and our students get classes at home. Friends, here I would also like to highlight the approach of the new Education Policy 2020, which aims to transform science education in India by encouraging creativity, critical thinking, and innovation. This year's theme of National Science Day reflects the same approach, when it focuses on empowering Indian youth for the global leadership through science and innovation. It is in line with the objective of the National Education Policy to encourage students to develop scientific temper and an attitude of research and innovation. The new education policy has endeavored to change the nature of our education system by introduction of dynamic elements like fieldwork, practicals, and the research. This is the line with what Swami Vivekananda had said. The very essence of education is the concentration of mind, not of collecting facts. My young friends, I am also aware that education is a concurrent subject under Indian Constitution. It is the joint responsibility of the center and the state to ensure that our future generation gets the best of education, that no child is left without good education, and that the generations ahead are not only future ready, but also globally ready. It goes without saying that this onerous task of bringing up our young generation as a future ready and globally ready must be a joint effort, a national effort, and nothing less than that. Friends, reflecting on this shared responsibility, I am reminded of an important chapter from my own journey nearly 3 decades ago, when I served as the Education Minister of the Uttar Pradesh. I was deeply concerned about the declining standards of education. Determined to uphold academic integrity, I took a bold step and introduced one of India's first anti-copying legislation in 1991. I have always believed that such malpractices are not just unethical, but a grave injustice to our children's future. Education must be built on the pillars of merit, honesty, and excellence, for it is only through a strong foundation that we can truly make our young generation future ready and globally competent. Friends, India has been a hub of innovation since a very long time, even when formal education had not penetrated deep into hinterlands. And we are aware of the famed Indian capacity for Jugaad, which is nothing but a creative improvisation for efficiency and better results. Even today, we know that most of our auto mechanics, electricians, plumbers, and other such specialists have little formal education, but they have the originality and creative thinking for learn and to learn fast, to provide services in the best possible way despite very limited resources. Friends, I am not saying Jugaad is always good. We need to improve quality and the sustainability. Friends, my point is that a young Indian mind is all too receptive to new ideas, new knowledge. He or she is ready to experiment and attempt. What is required to provide them with an atmosphere, a healthy ecosystem, so that the best in them comes out and they are ready to contribute meaningfully and in the nation's best interest. My young friends, our government under the illustrious leadership of the Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi is fully committed to harness modern technology for the welfare of the people. Friends, the attempts and the results of our interventions in this regard are evident for all to see. You are all aware that JAM, Jan Dhan Aadhaar Mobile Trinity, has revolutionized the transfer of entitlements to eligible categories by removing leakages and bringing about efficiency. With our concerted efforts, India is today is the leader of the digital procurement infrastructure and the UPI transactions. Friends, I would like to make my point with the recent data of the UPI transaction. In the year 2024, 171 billion UPI transactions have been done only in India, with total value of transactions around 245 lakh crore rupees. There is no country in the world matching the level of UPI transactions being done in India. There are innumerable other inventions where technology society interface has yielded great results. However, I think this is just the beginning. Globally, new technological breakthroughs are on the horizon, and we have to take a lead in transformative technologies like artificial intelligence, quantum computing, machine learning, clean tech, and many more. And for all, the government is committed.
జై భారత్ గట్టిగా జై భారత్ धन्यवाद रक्षा मंत्री जी। विज्ञान वैभव 2025 साइंस एग्जीबिशन के लिए आप समय देकर हजारों नौजवानों को इंस्पायर करने के लिए श्री राजनाथ सिंह जी समय देकर तेलंगाना हैदराबाद आया हुआ है। మిత్రులారా, రాజ్నాథ్ సింగ్ గారికి మనకు సమయం ఇచ్చి తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్రానికి వచ్చినందుకు పెద్ద ఎత్తున మీరు చప్పట్లతో వారికి స్వాగతం పలకాల్సిందిగా విజ్ఞప్తి చేస్తున్నా। గట్టిగా తెలంగాణ బలము రాజ్నాథ్ సింగ్ గారికి తెలవాలి। గట్టిగా చప్పట్లతో కేంద్ర రక్షణ శాఖ మంత్రి గారికి స్వాగతం పలకాలని తెలియజేస్తూ ఈ కార్యక్రమంలో స్థానిక పార్లమెంట్ సభ్యులు కొండా విశ్వేశ్వరరెడ్డి గారు, శాసన సభ్యులు అరికపూడి గాంధీ గారు, డిఆర్డిఓ చైర్మన్ గారు, అదేవిధంగా సతీష్ రెడ్డి గారు, ఇతర రక్షణ శాఖ అధికారులు, వేలాది మంది తెలంగాణ నలుమూలల నుంచి వచ్చేసిన విద్యార్థులందరికీ కూడా తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్ర ముఖ్యమంత్రిగా మీకు అందరికీ స్వాగతం పలుకుతున్నా। ఈరోజు ఈ దేశం యొక్క రక్షణ, ఈ దేశాన్ని రక్షించుకోవాల్సిన బాధ్యత ఇక్కడికి వచ్చేసిన యువకుల మీదనే ఉన్నది। ఈరోజు తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్రం, హైదరాబాద్ నగరం కొన్ని దశాబ్దాలుగా దేశ రక్షణలో అత్యంత కీలక పాత్ర పోషిస్తున్నది। మన ప్రాంతంలో బీడీఎల్ కావచ్చు, డిఆర్డిఓ కావచ్చు, మిదాని కావచ్చు, హెచ్ఏఎల్ కావచ్చు, ఇవన్నీ దేశ రక్షణ కోసం రాకెట్లను ఉత్పత్తి చేసే కాడి నుంచి మిసైల్స్ తయారు చేసే వరకు మన ప్రాంతంలో హైదరాబాద్ నగరంలో, హైదరాబాద్ చుట్టూతా ఈ పరిశ్రమలు ఉన్నాయి। ఈరోజు దేశాన్ని రక్షించడంలో మన హైదరాబాద్ తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్రం అత్యంత క్రియాశీలక పాత్ర పోషిస్తున్నది। అయితే ఈరోజు ఈ ప్రత్యేకమైన సైన్స్ ఎగ్జిబిషన్ ఏర్పాటు చేయడం ద్వారా లక్షలాది మంది విద్యార్థులకు దేశభక్తి పట్ల, దేశాన్ని రక్షించుకోవాల్సిన బాధ్యత పట్ల ఒక అవగాహన కల్పించడానికి ఈరోజు ఈ ఎగ్జిబిషన్ని మనం ఏర్పాటు చేసుకోవడం జరిగింది। ఈరోజు రక్షా మంత్రి जी, तेलंगाना राज्य से हर साल 1,10,000 इंजीनियरिंग ग्रेजुएट पास होकर ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा 1 लाख लोग कंप्यूटर साइंस पढ़कर अमेरिका जाने के लिए कोशिश कर रहा है। इसीलिए हम लोग ये कोशिश किए सांप्रदायिक इंजीनियरिंग पढ़ाने के लिए देशभक्ति, देश को बचाने के लिए, आगे इस देश को रक्षा करने के लिए आज ये साइंस एग्जीबिशन हमें लगाया। आगे ये जो विद्यार्थी है, सिविल इंजीनियरिंग, मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग, इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग पढ़कर इस देश में जो सांप्रदायिक इंजीनियर्स को और इस राज्य से हम देने के लिए कोशिश कर रहा है। खाली आईटी प्रोफेशनल अमेरिका जाने के लिए, आईटी कंपनीज में काम करने के लिए होगा, उनके परिवार के लिए अच्छा है, मगर देश के लिए जो सांप्रदायिक इंजीनियरिंग ग्रेजुएट्स का बहुत जरूरत है। इसीलिए तेलंगाना राज्य ने एक कोशिश किया, ये आज ये एग्जीबिशन के लिए आप समय देकर इतना दूर आए। तेलंगाना 4 करोड़ जनता के तरफ से आपको स्वागत करूंगा मैं। और दूसरी बात, यहाँ पर आजादी से पहले भी, आजादी के बाद भी यहाँ पर बीडीएल, एचएएल, मिदानी और डीआरडीओ बहुत सारे सांप्रदायिक देश रक्षा के लिए यहाँ पर प्रोडक्शन में हम लगा हुआ है। लगातार हैदराबाद एंड बेंगलुरु इज द डिफेंस सेंटर्स। तो हैदराबाद बेंगलुरु डिफेंस कनेक्टिंग कॉरिडोर, डिफेंस इंडस्ट्रियल कॉरिडोर अभी अनाउंस आप पहले बात दिया हुआ था। मेरा एक ही गुजारिश है, हैदराबाद बेंगलुरु डिफेंस कॉरिडोर आप डिक्लेयर किए तो ज्यादा से ज्यादा हमारा इन्वेस्टमेंट्स आएंगे। यहाँ बहुत सारे रॉकेट्स भी तैयार करने का आज स्काई रूट वाला और बहुत वाले प्राइवेट जो स्टार्टअप्स भी यहाँ शुरू हो गए। इसीलिए आपके तरफ से आपका मदद बहुत जरूरी है। आपके मदद में लेकर तेलंगाना राज्य को हिंदुस्तान में जो डिफेंस में नंबर 1 बनाने के लिए हम लोग कोशिश करेंगे। आप इतना दूर आके हमें मदद दिया हुआ है, आपको मैं धन्यवाद करते हुए यही मेरा भाषण खत्म करता हूं। धन्यवाद रक्षा मंत्री जी।